Welcome to BS News. I'm Sarah Landau.
And I'm bennte.
And this is the 40th anniversary edition of The Week That Changed the World.
40 years ago, President Nixon made the historic journey to China, ending 25 years of separations between the two countries. Before Nixon, no other president had visited China.
And this week was the first time that Americans were able to see images of China.
In July of 1971, President Nixon sent his national security advisor, Dr. Henry Kissinger, on a secret diplomatic mission to Peking, China.
On July 15, 1971, Nixon announced that he had received an invitation from Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai to visit the People's Republic of China.
President Nixon has accepted the invitation with pleasure. The meeting between the leaders of China and the United States is to seek the normalization of relations between the two countries, and also to exchange views on questions of concern to the two sides.
He accepted the invitation and had two main goals for his visit.
1. To establish communication between the U.S. and China so that they can ameliorate conflict in the Pacific and prevent future confrontations. And 2. In the practice of realpolitik, the U.S. wants to establish peace and relations with the People's Republic of China because of its immense population and potential to become a superpower.
And on February 21, 1972, Nixon arrived in China. Because President Nixon had a reputation as a staunch anti-communist, he was able to reach out to the People's Republic of China without being accused of giving the U.S. over to communism. Shortly after arriving in China, President Nixon and Henry Kissinger were invited to meet with Chairman Mao Zedong and Zhou Enlai. That same night, Nixon and his aides attended a banquet in the Grand Hall of the People, where they toasted with Zhou Enlai and other Chinese officials, marking a step forward in the Sino-American relationship.
Another highlight of Nixon's trip was his visit to the Great Wall of China.
Results of our trip, we hope, may be that the walls that are erected, whether they are physical walls like this, or whether they are other walls of ideology or philosophy, will not divide peoples in the world. That peoples, regardless of their differences in backgrounds and their philosophies, will have an opportunity to communicate with each other, to know each other, and to share with each other those particular endeavors that will mean peaceful progress in the years ahead.
The crux of Nixon's visit was the drafting of the Shanghai Communiqué, which was a statement of U.S.-China foreign policy views. The two nations agreed to disagree on certain issues and laid the framework for normalizing diplomatic relationships and establishing trade agreements.
The main point of the disagreement was Taiwan. The Chinese believed that U.S. forces in Taiwan violated China's sovereignty and therefore called for the withdrawal of U.S. forces from Taiwan. The U.S. agreed to withdraw forces from Taiwan if and only if the People's Republic of China would help the U.S. bring the Vietnam War to an end.
The U.S. and China could not come to any solid agreements. The U.S. promised to progressively reduce its forces and military installations on Taiwan as the tension in the area diminishes, i.e., the Vietnam War, which essentially delayed the resolution of the Taiwan issue.
Nixon's visit to China clearly demonstrated that the two nations fully intended to normalize relations. However, no agreements materialized until 1979, 7 years after the historic visit.
Today, the U.S. and China have full diplomatic relations. Furthermore, they are each other's second largest trading partners. The U.S. has been a major investor in China and has aided significantly in China's rise on the world stage.
And in 2012, there's a free flow of travel between the two countries, as well as great educational and cultural exchange.
And that's it for the 40th anniversary edition of The Week That Changed the World. I'm Sarah Landau.
And I'm bennte.
Thank you for watching BS News.
Hello, have you heard about new chicken McNuggets Shanghai? They come in 9-pack and 20-pack too, with chopsticks. I make fortune cookie and 3 new Oriental sauces to choose from. There's Shanghai sweet and sour, Oriental hot mustard, and teriyaki. But first you must learn to use chopsticks.
Ole, ole.